Okay, we're moving on to a vegetable. If you've been watching the previous part, we've got potatoes baking already, so now I can do something else. I'm going to prep my green beans, and this is going to be green beans with some bacon, some sliced almonds, and just a little bit of garlic. Now you can see that I've got some pretty big containers of the ingredients here, but that's because sometimes I cook for just huge amounts of people, and I buy it like this. I love the garlic like this that comes already peeled because it's so easy and it's so fast, and if I have too much of it, you can always put a little olive oil and bake it and make a nice little baked garlic. Oh, it's delicious. Let's go back to the green beans. I've got 3 bags of green beans here. Believe it or not, these are fresh green beans. When I was at the store today, the ones that were out, they were rubbery, wimpy. I didn't want to buy those. So I found some that were fresh. Now, these, I'm going to go ahead and open these up so we can look at them real quick. I'm doing this because a lot of times you can eat all year long, and if you aren't in the season for fresh green beans, there's some great frozen products out there. Sometimes it's hard to beat them with the fresh ones. Now this is a pretty large green bean. You can see they've been snipped. Usually they take the little pointy end off and the stem off. I know Costco sometimes has a bag of really nice smaller beans that are processed wonderfully. These are fresh. We're going to kind of cook them the same. This is a standard kind of grocery brand green bean. These are a little smaller. Now if you can see that, smaller. I prefer the smaller. They're going to be a little more tender. They cook a little quicker. And then I'm not going to open this one up because they're fairly similar to this. Get these at Trader Joe's. Fantastic product, quick frozen. Sometimes it's really hard for fresh beans to beat some of these frozen ones. So now these are going back in the freezer. We're going to start with these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to parboil, pre-cook the green beans. Green beans is one of the vegetables you don't want to serve undercooked. You don't want them mushy, but you want them cooked. Otherwise they don't really digest well, and then people a lot of gas problems. The water's boiling. I've added my salt. Now I'm going to go over there and I'm going to go ahead. It's boiling away with the lid on. I'm going to take it off. Dump the bag of beans in, which is about 1 pound. Cover it up real quick to get it boiling. Next thing I'm going to do right now is the bacon. I've got some wonderful thick hickory smoked bacon. In a cold pan. I find it always works better to put the bacon in when it's cold. Now I'm putting it in this pan. A lot of times if I just cook my bacon, I would use a pan that's somewhat non-stick because it's easier, but I'm going to do the rest of the cooking in this pan, so let's just keep all that wonderful bacon fat in there. For 1 pound of beans, I'm probably going to put about 6 of these thick slices of bacon in, which is nice, because then and I'm going to use this bacon grease to cook my garlic and my almonds and then saute my green beans. The only other thing you don't see out here is a lemon. I'll be putting out some lemon juice just on the end. But right now, let's go check on our beans. They're up to a boil with the lid on. You can start to see the color sets real good. Now we're getting mighty close to being done with these. Let's take one out anyhow. Are hot. Let's get prepared. I take the top off. Let's grab some other mitts, or I use another towel, but I don't have one with me right now. There we go. They're starting to lose some of that really bright green color. Bring it over here. And instantly start hitting them with the cold water to stop the cooking process. Now, if I was someplace and I had a whole lot of ice and some nice big containers, I would have just strained these and instantly dumped them into water with ice in them, and it would have chilled them down real fast. But most of you guys don't have that, so I'm not going to use that right now. And now they're already cool to the touch. And the temperature's been reduced enough so they're going to stop cooking. I'm going to let these drain. That's only about 1 pound. It was a 1 pound bag I used. If you looked at the bag, some of them say you can steam them in the bag. You could have done that. If you are proficient with a microwave and steaming them up like that, you could do that. I prefer this. I feel I get a better color than the steaming in the bag. Now I'm going to set these out and we're going to put the bacon on. Okay, rules for cooking bacon, don't burn it. And for this one, it doesn't have to be super pretty. I find when it's all nice and stretched out though, I get more crispiness. That's my 6 pieces of bacon. That was a 3-pound container, so I'd say that there's probably 1/3 of a pound of bacon in there already. I'm going to let this cook. I'll be turning it a couple of times to keep it so it gets brown, but it doesn't get too dark and it doesn't get too crumbly. One of the most beautiful sounds in the world. As the bacon starts to release its juices, that wonderful fat that makes all food taste good. Fat and butter. Yeah. I wish this camera had an oratory, I wish it had smell-o-vision, because the smell of cooked bacon. This is done. Now, I've turned it off. See this grease I have in here? We're going to go ahead and pour a little of this off. Okay, now I've been working for about a half hour to slice up these almonds, and you got to be very careful because you don't want to cut yourself, and you want them sliced pretty much perfect and thin like this, and you might want to do that ahead of time. Or you just buy them already sliced, which is really what I did here. They're raw. These were actually cooked. Raw almonds sliced like this. You can buy big bags, small bags. Once again, cost savings for a huge bag. If you're going to keep them out for a long time, if you're going to keep them, if you don't go through this, put them in the freezer. Nuts freeze fantastic and they hold. But get as much air out of the bag as you can. So this is actually more almonds than I'm going to need. I'll show you later. Next thing we're going to do is the garlic. Large amount of garlic. Now look what I'm going to do here. There's a full handful of garlic and another handful of garlic. That's for that pound of green beans. Looks outrageous. When I cook it down in the grease, it will lose a lot of that really pungent garlic flavor. Mixed with the almond and the bacon, it's unbelievable. Now, before I do that, well here, I'm going to zip that up real quick. They're done. For the amount of time it took me to do that, compared to if you don't have one of these, you don't have another one where you take a clove of garlic and you put it in your press, you swing your press over, and you squish it out. It works. For small, you're cooking for 2 or for only a couple of people, you can do this. Works fantastic, but make sure you clean it right away, because otherwise that stuff gets hard in there and sticks. So there's my garlic. It's good to go. I'll pull the blade out, use a rubber spatula. Next thing I'm going to do for you is move some room from my things here, is I'm going to get some lemon juice. I roll, knead, press, still choking on that almond. Press the lemon till I've broken down a lot of the membrane and the tissue inside of it. That way I can get more of the juice out. Cut it in half, good old-fashioned lemon squeeze. I do this ahead of time too, so I have good lemon juice, and I'm not squeezing it over my dish, and then I get the seeds in the food. Makes people not very happy. As you'll see as we cook a lot, lemon juice is one of the most fantastic things to pop flavors in food. The acid in it brings out some flavor. The little bitter sour flavor pops it. You don't want to overdo it a lot of times, but you'd be amazed what it's going to do. It's what kicks this recipe. This is not to be touched by people that are helping you in the kitchen. They want to steal a little bit of nuts. They want to steal the lemon juice, some raw garlic, okay? Bacon is like gold. The cameraman right now is shaking his head because he wants to come over and try some. Take it, and what I'm going to basically do is just cut it and crumble it down. You can see I've got little teeny pieces. I've got some bigger pieces. Usually nothing, no big, I don't want anything bigger than that. That's just too big a prize for whoever gets it. And it will kind of do it on its own. The crispier part will crumble more. There you go. I've got all my ingredients here pretty much. I've got my bacon chopped up. I've got my almonds. This might be a little bit much almonds. I'm not just going to dump this whole in. We'll look at it when we get it in the pan. My garlic. I'm going to pull it out of the container so it looks nice and neat on a plate and is easier to put in. But obviously if I'm doing a much bigger batch, I'm going to have a lot more garlic, and I'll just take it right out of here. Then my green beans, which I've parboiled. Parboiled, they've got nice green. They're done enough to eat, but they can take just a teeny bit more cooking as I heat them up, mix them. Now and my lemon juice. What I have here is I'm going to put the bacon grease back in the pan, and I'm going to brown up my almonds, then I'm going to throw the garlic in, get it browning, then I'm going to throw in the green beans and the bacon, because I'm just going to basically heat these up till they're nice and hot, and then finish it with a little bit of lemon juice. I'm basically making a paste, a goop, a junk, whatever you want to call it, of almonds, garlic, and bacon. Okay, I'm sorry, but the green beans, it's just an excuse to get people to eat green beans, because this, after it's cooked up, is absolutely fantastic, and that's what everyone wants to go for.